Hi, I'm Jenna from Tonight Alive.
I'm Juliet, and I do Automatic Love Letter.
Hi, I'm Sierra from Versa Emerge.
Hi, I'm Ash Costello from New Year's Day.
Hey guys, it's Cassidy from Hey Monday.
Hello, bitches. Okay, so today I'm gonna yap about something that I've been thinking about since 2011. Like, actually, since Warped Tour was going on. Since all these female-fronted bands were on Warped Tour, I was thinking about what's gonna happen to them after this tour. Is anybody gonna get as famous as Paramore? Spoiler alert, no. In this video, I'm just gonna yap about, in my opinion, why I think certain bands never really took off. And obviously I'm a huge Paramore fan, so this is like no shade to Hayley Williams, Taylor York, or Zac Farro, but like I'm saying, do I think it was right that these bands never really took off post Warped Tour because Paramore already existed? No, because some of them were very talented. Most of them were very talented. And there's an unpopular opinion I have about Hey Monday, just sprinkled in here. I loved Hey Monday. I was such a Hey Monday stan. But yeah, let's talk about it. So let's talk about all the bands that I'm going to be mentioning in this video. I was such a huge fan of every single band that I'm going to mention. Hey Monday, Tonight Alive, Automatic Love Letter, New Year's Day, Versa Emerge. So starting off with Tonight Alive. I feel like, in my opinion, they didn't really make it because they're Australian, and I saw it happen with the Veronicas. Like, it's so hard to cross over and make it in America. And that's actually true because they recently reunited, and the shows that they do in Australia are very successful. But they just never really took off in America. They just didn't. I loved them. What Are You So Scared Of by Tonight Alive is one of the greatest albums in general, but I'm like, they didn't make it. They just didn't. They should have, but they didn't. And then that leads me into, well, what happens when somebody from a band that you really like goes solo and the music is not good? Because in my opinion, Jenna from Tonight Alive going solo was not the move. I would listen to her music and I'd be like, let me just listen to Tonight Alive. Like, it did not inspire me. It wasn't good. It wasn't like, to me, it didn't do anything for me. Okay? So that's why I fully believe that Tonight Alive, they're still very popular, but in Australia. They never broke out in the US. The next band I'm going to talk about is Hey Monday. Oh, the things I could say about Hey Monday. I loved Hey Monday. They were very underrated. I feel like, personally, they weren't a one-hit wonder because they had that album Hold On Tight, which was very good. And then they would have singles that would do good. But then I feel like the fact that Cassidy was with Ryan from All Time Low ended up being like kind of an instant connection of like, oh, if you like All Time Low, check out Hey Monday. Like, there was always that connection of like, these two bands are always going to be intertwined. Even after Ryan and Cassidy broke up, I was like, oh, remember when he was with Cassidy from Hey Monday? Like, I could not let it go. And so yeah, I just feel like, as much as I do love Hey Monday, I'm like, there was just really nothing to make them stand out. Which is crazy to say, but it's true. Like, not even the All Time Low connection really got them anywhere. Even at the height of like, oh, All Time Low and Warped Tour and this whole thing, Hey Monday was always destined to be super underrated. I love them, but that's just how I feel. And then Cassidy going on The Voice and winning was super cool and everything, but then she went country and nobody really like paid attention, and it was a whole thing. And then she went back to pop punk, and I'm just like, Cassidy Pope, you do belong in pop punk. You don't belong in country. So yeah, but shout out to Hey Monday. Next, let's yap about Automatic Love Letter, aka, in my opinion, the Juliet Sims project. I say this in every single video I make about Juliet Sims, but I fully believe, in my opinion, allegedly that band was just like a cover-up to just make her dreams come true. Like, she always knew she was going to be a solo artist. That's just the way it always felt. Because I would think about Automatic Love Letter and I'd be like, Juliet. Nobody else. And the same could be said about every single band I mentioned in this video, except Paramore. But that's because Paramore is like on the Mount Rushmore of female-fronted bands. If you know, you know. If you don't know, I can't really explain it, but I just know that Paramore started something. I just know that Paramore started something that weirdly had its moment and then didn't take off and then was like at a standstill. And it's still kind of, sort of, even though I know that there are still like new female-fronted bands. But I just don't listen to them because I prefer like my little nostalgic corner of the bands that I already mentioned. Let's talk about New Year's Day, because I feel like New Year's Day was very different in the way that they were presented, because Ash was obsessed with scary movies and that was like her whole aesthetic. And then there was like drama and controversy. But I still, when I think about New Year's Day, I'm like, wow, they did a lot. And when I think of bands that had an aesthetic, it was New Year's Day. They really stood out. Now, I don't know how much of that was marketing and how much of it was like really just, this is how we want to be presented. I don't know, I wasn't there, as I often say in these videos. But yeah, shout out to New Year's Day. I just feel like I think about them a lot. Next, let's talk about Versa merge. So Versa merge was interesting to me because I feel like I only ever liked one single, but I liked the concept of Versa merge. Like, I liked Sierra's voice, and Blake's voice was fine. But then I also really remember loving the cover they did of E.T. by Katy Perry. So yeah, Versa merge is probably the most underrated band that I'll mention in this lineup, just because I feel like nobody ever really talks about Versa or Hey Monday. Now that I've finished yapping about each band, let's talk about how Warped Tour allegedly set them up for failure. Allegedly, everything I say in this video is alleged. It's just my opinion. But if we remember Warped Tour, the things that people say happen on Warped Tour were not good. So, in my opinion, it was probably like, oh, you saw so-and-so doing this? You're getting kicked off the tour if you say anything. So, that would keep them from speaking up about anything they ever saw, because they're just trying to, build fan bases. And also, Warped Tour is the tour for this kind of music. This is their Madison Square Garden, this little rinky-dink tour in parking lots for like 1,000 kids in a random state in Minnesota. Like, this is as big as these bands are ever gonna get. So would they want to jeopardize that opportunity and be like, hey, I saw something that was really wrong? But, and again, allegedly, I'm not trying to put blame on anybody and somebody saw this and they did this and whatever. I don't know, I wasn't there, but what I'm saying is, from allegedly what we've heard, Warped Tour was not a safe place to be. And I can only imagine what people that were actually involved in the tour saw. Warped Tour was a crazy place. We are now learning that. And so, yeah, that's just my thoughts on Warped Tour and why these female-fronted bands never really made it. It has half to do with Warped Tour and then half to do with the fact that there was never, ever, 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 ever gonna be another Paramore. Paramore was a one-time thing, and nobody on this tour was ever gonna be as famous as Paramore. No band was ever gonna surpass Paramore. And it makes me sad because in the beginning of this video I did mention I am such a huge fan of every single band that I mentioned. I mean, most of these bands are broken up, but like Tonight Alive reunited, so that's cool, and they're very popular in Australia. So it's not like all these bands completely disappeared. It's just like nobody ever made it as big as Paramore. Shout out to Tonight Alive, New Year's Day, Automatic Love Letter, Versa merge, Hey Monday. All of you were amazing for the time, and you bring me a lot of nostalgia every time I listen to your music, and all of you had bangers. But also, fuck everything bad that happened at Warped Tour.